Christine, how much does it hurt the WNBA when Caitlin Clark is out?
It is devastating to the WNBA when Caitlin Clark is out.
Now, I know a lot of us were expecting some sort of dip since Caitlin Clark has been out with injury, but I don't think all of us were expecting the entire viewership of the entire WNBA to be down. And this tweet from Christine Brennan really stuck out to me. She said, one player gets injured and more than half the TV audience for the entire league disappears. Has any other athlete ever had that kind of impact on a sport? Golf without Tiger definitely dropped precipitously on occasion.
The WNBA is in a terrible financial situation and is powerless to stop their entire empire from collapsing. Caitlin Clark on the court, demonstrating once more how little this league has learned about safeguarding the one player who brought them out of obscurity and into the public eye on their own. This is the tale of how a league keeps shooting itself in the foot while their precious goose is hurt on the sidelines, and how their obstinate resistance. They are losing millions of dollars every day because they refuse to accept reality.
And the truth is the truth, and the data is there. And what we saw when Caitlin was out the last time, the 5 games that she missed earlier in the season, the WNBA's viewership dropped more than 50%. Not just the Fever, but the entire league.
Facts are now as uncommon as sold-out WNBA games without Caitlin in this era of staged drama and social media outrage. Clark, the brutal truth of the league's reliance on a single player was revealed on May 24th when Clark was sidelined with a quad injury. Exposed to the public, now that she's sidelined once more due to a groin ailment, we're witnessing a recurrence of what occurred.
Quad injury jumped to her groin likely because of compensation. But the thing that you have to be careful of is if, say, you try to rush her back from this injury as well, then you're getting into this territory where a very serious injury can happen. That is what the Indiana Fever, that is what Caitlin need to avoid the best that they possibly can. So if it means that Caitlin is out for 3 weeks, if it means that she is out all the way through All-Star, then so be it.
The number of people watching nationally televised WNBA games fell by a startling 55% as Indiana. Viewership for Fever decreased by 53%, from an average of 1.81 million when Clark performed. Without her, to only 847,000. However, this is when the story becomes really absurd, and by absurd, we mean predictably disastrous for a league that doesn't want to grow from its failures.
Clark went down. The WNBA ratings have dropped over 55% across the board.
Hey, guess what, guys?
The league is Caitlin Clark.
The league is Caitlin Clark. She is the WNBA, guys.
Sidelined with a left quad strain May 24th. National TV viewership has plunged since then 55%. Before the injury, the Fever, her team, were averaging 1.81 million viewers, almost 2 million. Since her injury, fewer than 850,000.
While Caitlin Clark was busy doing what she does best, breaking television rating records and packing arenas, the WNBA was busy doing what they do best, making unheard of profits, and had nothing to safeguard their greatest asset, because it seems that when a player is solely accountable for, given that she accounts for 26.5% of all WNBA revenue, it makes sense to allow opponents to pursue her without consequence, while giving a basketball play lecture to everyone.
News is alarming for the league, and it's alarming for the league because this is such a crucial year for the WNBA. At the end of this season, the WNBA will go into CBA negotiations. If negotiations go well, then every single player in the WNBA has a much better chance of making so much more in their next contract. And that's one thing when you start thinking about how many people stopped watching when Caitlin Clark got injured. A lot of people stopped watching because they are boycotting the WNBA. They don't want to give viewership to any other teams or any other players, whether they like other players on the team or not, because of how the media and the league itself has handled Caitlin Clark and how they have treated her fans.
What's especially fascinating, and by fascinating, I mean extremely annoying, is how this specific situation has played out previously, but the league doesn't seem to be able to draw lessons from their own past. It's hardly the first time, though. When their best star is hurt, The WNBA has seen its income and ratings plummet. It's similar to witnessing someone touch a hot stove, get burned, and then grab for it again right away, saying they had no idea what would happen.
What's really concerning about this is the fact that we are only a month into the regular season, and Caitlin Clark has already been out with 2 injuries. With the first one being her having to miss some time with a left quad strain. Now, of course, this is concerning because if you're already on your second injury, you don't want to be that player that is always hurt. Cough, cough, Embiid, cough, cough, Anthony Davis. So I really do hope that the Fever really sits her out right now for a while, only because you don't want her to have more long-term injuries and be more prone.
Please subscribe if you're having fun. The financial destruction has been quick and brutal. Fever game ticket pricing have fallen by 71%, with some tickets going from $86 to just $25, the typical cost of a ticket across. The startling drop in Clark's missed games from $137 to $80 says a lot about who genuinely stimulates interest in this league. In particular, road games that were relocated to larger arenas. In order to meet the demand for Clark tickets, venues that would have been fully booked with her existence point one of the season's most anticipated games, the Chicago Sky vs. Fever rematch, saw ticket prices plummet from between $210 and $95. This clash was previously one of the most watched, drawing 2.25 million viewers. WNBA matches throughout history. However, without Clark, it becomes just another game in which casual fans are uninterested in observing.
Man, bruh. Congratulations to the WNBA. Your ratings are going to drop by 55 to 60% once again. I believe the WNBA have successfully broken Caitlin Clark.
Christine Brennan is a seasoned sports writer whose book, Caitlin Clark and the Revolution, will be released soon. Has been one of the most outspoken opponents of the WNBA's management of women's sports and vows to reveal the league's shortcomings. Of their best player, Brennan stated, "The WNBA continues to fail to meet the moment following yet another incident where opponents targeted Clark. More people than ever are watching, and this is what they see." Brennan's critique reaches the core of the issue. According to league figures, Clark alone attracts over half of the league's TV viewers. However, they still let her get cheap shots and hard fouls that are only meant to scare them. Greatest attraction. It's similar to witnessing a restaurant owner permit patrons to intimidate the chef, whose cooking is the sole motivation for individuals to go to the establishment.
As big a deal as Tiger was in men's golf, Keith, he did, and when he was gone, it affected the ratings, but nothing like that. And, Michael Jordan being out, maybe a 5 percentage points or something. Nothing like this. You can make a strong case, and I will make that case, and have that there is no one single athlete more important to his or her sport or tour or whatever the circuit is that they play on than Caitlin Clark is to the WNBA.
The pattern is now as annoying as it is predictable. Clark is heavily fouled by opponents who appear more focused on making claims rather than engaging in basketball. 5 of the 30 flagrant fouls issued by the league in 2024 were directed against Clark. 80% of the flagrant fouls against her were committed by the Chicago Sky. When she reacts to the physical play, she is chastised for being overly combative. When she remains silent, she is chastised for being. Therefore, the league has created a no-win scenario and is unwilling to resolve it. The financial damage persists in the interim. To completely destroy the WNBA ecology in addition to the Fever, this year, the league was already expected to lose $50 million. Despite the rise in popularity brought about by Clark, those defeats are increasing without her on the court. An alarming rate as attendance statistics return, item sales stall, and television ratings plummet to levels before to Clark.
I don't even know where to begin, man. I hope Caitlin Clark is okay. I want to know when this injury even happened, bro, because let's be serious here. She has the quad injury. Mind you, Caitlin Clark hadn't missed a game since she was like 19 years old, since she was like 18 in college or something. Now she has a groin injury. We've never seen Caitlin Clark play as bad as she played the last 3 games. Let's just be serious here. She's like 1 for 20-something on threes in the last 3. We've never seen her shoot the ball this way. I'll say that. Has she been hurt and playing through this?
The most damning thing about this whole issue is that it was entirely avoidable. Clark joined the league as a modest rookie who always complimented her colleagues while drawing attention away from herself. She responded to criticism with impressive elegance and maturity for a 22-year-old. The league might have welcomed her, shielded her, and elevated the entire sport with her fame. Rather, they let petty politics and jealousy contaminate what should have been an occasion to celebrate women's basketball. Beyond television, Clark's damage has far-reaching consequences. Purchases of tickets and ratings. Now, corporate sponsors who made millions of dollars worth of investments based on the Clark-driven growth are wondering if they made prudent investments. This circumstance highlights a basic issue with the WNBA's positioning itself. The league appears to be torn between wanting to be recognized as a legitimate professional basketball league and organization and a desire to welcome any created drama that may be shared on social media. Involvement. IT is not possible to have it both ways. Professional leagues preserve their competitiveness and safeguard their stars. Honesty. Drama clubs in high school create controversy in the hopes that someone would take notice.
Thing I admire about Caitlin, she's a warrior. She's tough. You hear me? Bruh, you just don't see players, you don't see female basketball players like her. I'm sorry. I done seen a lot of female basketball players, like I said.